And hello again. This is my third video, just to get you guys to understand who that one girl is. That's me. Hi. My third video, I really want to focus on when I woke up, and I say that in the kindest of terms. When I really started questioning things. My entire life, I go back, I've been healing for quite a while actually. My entire life I go back, and my gut has told me multiple times, lots and lots and lots of times, something is wrong. But I've ignored it because actually my family told me that it was right, really. And when I questioned my family, those in authority told me that it was right, when in fact it's really not. I can say that now. I'm not afraid of what they're gonna say or do to me. Nobody wants to upset people. Nobody wants to be looked down upon. But honestly, as a Jehovah's Witness, I have been looked down upon and been made fun of, have been judged for being different my whole life. I've decided to trade 7 million people for 7 billion people. I have decided that looking different to the ones who have made me different in a bad way is going to be okay. And so I have chosen to be different in an okay way. And that means I can ask questions, and I can be myself, and I can do what I need to do to be happy in life and not be held down. And hopefully others will feel the same way. A few years ago, actually maybe 4 now, I lost a very close friend in death. I actually watched him die. He was a very elderly man, one of my best friends. I had seen his wife die a few years earlier. She actually asked me to help take care of him, and him and I were best friends. We did a lot of things together. We had lunches together, we spent time together, such quality time. We played games. He taught me a lot of things, and I really grew to love and respect him. He was a valuable member in the congregation, but before he died, a couple years before he died, he got dementia. And during the time I took care of him, he went from living at home, doing quite well, to ultimately ending up in hospice at a dementia ward in an old folks retirement home. And during that whole time, I saw him and helped him. I also saw that as he grew older and more decrepit and forgettable, that his own family and friends no longer cared. They didn't see him, he didn't go to the Kingdom Hall, and he really no longer mattered. He fell, and I was just his friend, and he fell at his house, and I found him down, and he ended up having to go to the hospital, which ultimately put him into a nursing home. He had broken some bones from his fall. Old people do that. I'm glad I was able to reach him, but the part that hurt me the most is his family came in the next day and said they didn't want to make that call. They didn't want to do anything. They didn't want to be responsible for him. So they turned all responsibility over to me, just a friend. And I, without hesitation, accepted. This story isn't really about that. The story is about the fact that as he got older and he grew more decrepit, more forgetful, they realized that he wouldn't really remember if they came to see him or not. There's a visitor log. I'm not a dummy. Nobody came to see him. And if it was occasional, I shouldn't say nobody, I should say very few people came to see him at very irregular intervals. A couple of them were family members, but he would go months without visitors, unless it was me. That puts a great stress on others when you can't even take care of your own family. He had quite a few family members. And the interesting thing is, after he passed, there was no one there when he passed. It was him and me. The family didn't even come up after. And I got a $20 check after I put the funeral together to care of all of the final expenses. $20 check from the family. Now, these are Jehovah's Witnesses. And I know there's lots of stories, but this is what woke me up. This is, because this happens a lot. I mean, everybody's got their story of stumbling, right? What happened? Oh, look at my hat. See, I'm hiding. I can't see my head. Anyway, Ray was important. He was somebody that was important his whole life to the congregation. He gave his whole life. He donated his funds, his time, his energy. And when he passed, some came to the funeral, but most didn't even notice. And that's somebody who'd spent their whole life. If they're not actively helping, they really aren't taken care of. In fact, they're looked at kind of like an irritation. Now, I lived it. I see it. I can call it. Now, whether your congregation does or yours did or didn't, I don't really care. This was the situation that I saw. The interesting part is I had very little help trying to put all of that together. I did most of it without any help. There was a couple people that actually, and I'm speaking like 2 people that helped. And that's really sad in a place with more than 10 congregations and a 30-mile radius, you know? Interesting, huh? But it doesn't matter. It just helped me realize that there's not a lot of love in the congregation where it should be. I started just kind of questioning as to what love was going on, you know? What kind of love actually is being shown? Is it really just favoritism to those who can do more for the hall? Those who are sick, we have I'll call her a sister. I love this sister very much. She is in a wheelchair, has no use of her legs, and she's consistently ignored because she's been in a wheelchair the whole time. She, a lot of the times, can't go to meetings. It hurts too bad. She's had to take types of medication that other people would be judgmental over. It really is too bad. She has to beg for company. And if, you know, they can't count their time, really. I mean, a little bit, they can count their time to visit the sick ones, but they really need to go and knock on doors and make new disciples. And that's just not loving in my thought. So when I was born and raised to be a good person, because that is who my parents were anyway, and then, of course, as a witness, that was really beat into me. Love, joy, peace, long-suffering, kindness, goodness, faith, mildness, and self-control. Against such things there is no law. So let's be kind. There's never any reason to be unkind. Let's always follow Jesus. He is the master path setter. We can only follow his footsteps. We can't do it perfectly. You know, all of those things. I tried. I really did. I was really quite good. I mean, I really did love people, and I did really want to reach people. I still do. And I guess that's what's so hurtful, is I really haven't changed. I just have more knowledge, and I took the opportunity to use the internet and moving away to gain access at the Seattle Library. A library that's very big and has a lot of information. And then I dug up my old volumes and really did search, open my mind. Okay, my question is I have been told my whole life that this is the truth, and don't question it. This is the way it is. Despite any issues that I might have, or, You know, if I have been stumbled, then it's my problem. I have to be the one to get over it. When you're told that, and then you realize that it's been covering over lies, it can make you a little frustrated. So if you're there, if you were where I came from, and you were born and raised and realized that you are not actually learning the truth, you are pushing books for a publishing company and selling their propaganda in order to convert more closed-minded individuals that really do need hope. You know, these are people that you can't just mess around with. These are people that have dreams and hopes, and they're getting squashed just so they can make millions for these 7 men. So here I sit. I have given up my family, my life, my business. I left everything. Back home is a 9-hour drive away. I had to do that. I changed my name. I hiding kind of my appearance. And you tell me, is that a religion or a cult? When you have to go that far to get away from the drama. My family won't talk to me. They won't even tell me they love me. They're that afraid of these men. Because God knows that they love me. I mean, geez, they've told me. When I sign my name on the bottom of the text, that means I love you. Well, don't you think that God knows that? Who are you really afraid of? Because I can tell you I'm not afraid of these guys anymore. They're men that have their mind controlled to tell you that you can love only the people they tell you can love, and believe only the things that they tell you to believe. You tell me, is that a cult? Go look up the definition. I'm not going to show you any books. I'm just going to ask questions, because honestly, if you're a Jehovah's Witness, you've been trained to just completely block that out anyways. It's actually a mind control technique. If you're hearing me, just look up some of these things. And I'm not saying in an apostasy book. I'm just saying, if you go to the Webster's Dictionary and you start looking up some of these things, or even psychology. Psychology books are okay. I mean, it's about the mind. When a baby is brought up and their parents teach them that 1 + 1 is 3, and if they don't believe that, then they will not be loved. They will only be loved if they believe 1 and 1 equals 3. That child is going to preach to the earth, to the sea, and to the stars that 1 + 1 is 3, because you know what? Love is that important. Well, here is what I say. Yes, love is that important. But it doesn't have to be the love of mom and dad, or brother and sister, or husband or wife or child. It doesn't have to be that love that has to be the most important. If you don't have it, if your family is withholding love from you because they've been told to by someone else, by a religion, or by a religion claiming that God is saying it, just think about it. It is mind control. 1 + 1 does not equal 3. And your gut has been telling you that all along. If you have questions, they can be answered. It might feel weird, you might wonder if what you're doing is right, but always remember that truth circles back. God has put for thousands of years so many things, little trinkets, little this, little that. There's so much. If you want to look at it that God is not here, that's fine too. Really, it does not matter to me. What matters is truth. We are supposed to grow. Whatever our belief is, we're supposed to grow. So grow.